he may not be at liberty to respond to the findings of the Tax Commission, he concluded. In reply, the Director of Public Prosecutions, S.H. Barkum, said the state has filed a counter affidavit opposing bail on the grounds that the offenses committed are very serious and the amount involved is too huge. Barkum said that the state intends to file charges as soon as possible, but would not give an exact date. The presiding judge, Justice Nkea, agreed with the state and therefore adjourned the case to Monday the 18th of June for continuation. Meanwhile, custody. More
stories right after this break.
The world in your pocket.
The world on your mobile.
Get the latest top stories from all over the world directly from Al Jazeera Network straight to your AfriCell line. Breaking news,
political news,
and sport news.
Be the first to get the latest on everything happening around the world by SMS on your AfriCell line.
To subscribe, type SUB and send it by SMS to 7272.
And stay up to date with the latest news from Al Jazeera Network.
All the latest news stories and headlines from across the globe.
For $1 per day, only on your AfriCell line.
Welcome back. Tensions are high in Egypt as the country's voters prepare to pick a new president this weekend. In a stunning move, Egypt's highest court ordered the dissolution of the newly elected parliament on Thursday. Egypt's interim military rulers also announced they have full legislative authority, deepening fears that Egypt's democratic future is under threat. And more than 1 year after Egypt's Arab Spring Revolution, one Egypt watcher warns that the country now entering a very dangerous stage. Some Egyptians are calling for the move by the High Court Constitutional Court, an act of coup by the military council. CNN's Ben Wiedemann has more.
Constitutional Court was surrounded by barbed wire, military police, riot police, and armored personnel carriers, keeping away angry and vocal protesters. Inside and away from the cameras, judges ruled that irregularities rendered the Muslim Brotherhood-dominated parliament invalid and ruled that a law banning Mubarak-era officials from holding public office was unconstitutional. It was simultaneously a body blow to the Brotherhood and a victory for supporters of presidential candidate Ahmed Shafiq, the object of much of the demonstrators' anger and derision. He served as the last prime minister under the deposed president Hosni Mubarak. Protest leader Hussein Abdurrahman wears a judicial sash emblazoned with a zucchini, colloquial Egyptian for corruption. The Egyptian judiciary, he says, has transformed into zucchini, which means favoritism and nepotism. The dissolution of parliament gives the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, SCAF, full legislative and executive power. Alongside, it appears, a friendly judiciary. It all leaves frustrated revolutionaries feeling out in the cold on this hot June day.
SCAF has been suppressing our protests, suppressing all the youth movements on the ground. They have been arresting thousands of us.
Egypt's transition from dictatorship to democracy is no longer a given.
A year and a half since the overthrow of Hosni Mubarak, and stability seems to be as elusive as ever. Court decisions, elections after elections, do nothing to calm the political storm.
Random scrawlings best explain what's going on. An editorial cartoon in a Cairo daily describes this as the current situation in Egypt. The presidential elections, satirized in this online mock-up of a video game, pits the bare-chested Ahmed Shafiq against the bearded Mohammed Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood. The timing of the Constitutional Court's rulings could hardly be worse, coming less than 48 hours before voters are set to go to the polls in the presidential elections. The choice between a stalwart of the Mubarak regime and the often holier-than-thou Muslim Brotherhood leaves many Egyptians cold, or, as is often the case here, making light of the whole process. University sophomore Ibrahim Gamal ad-Din has become a sensation with his satirical music videos, here taking aim at the Muslim Brotherhood. This is our country, but you were all sleeping, go the lyrics. We took Parliament and the Constitutional Assembly, and we'll take the presidency too. And if you don't like it, you can go to hell. Humor has long been a form of dissent in Egypt, says Ibrahim.
Egyptians always try to make use of the tense situations by making fun of it, to make it just easier to live with.
And with tensions on the rise, at least Egyptians can temper the uncertainty with a few good laughs.
Greece has been without a fully functioning government for over a month, a situation leaders of Europe are desperately hoping will change after voters head to the poll this weekend. Now, Sunday's parliamentary election is the second in a many months. It comes at a time when clear leadership is crucial. Greece has outlined more budget cuts before the end of the month to meet the conditions of the European bailout. The economic crisis has pushed many Greeks to the financial brink. Now imagine you are out of work, out of money, and have nowhere to support your family. Where do you turn? CNN's Madhu Chance reports some people are taking very desperate measures.
Victims of Greece's economic despair, abandoned not through lack of love, but money. We gained access to this orphanage in Athens, where care workers say they've witnessed a surge in the number of Greek families unable to feed and clothe their children.
I think that it's for first time for us, and I'm working for SOS Villages since 1982. So for first time, I see so many poor families ask for help for their own children.
Austerity and years of recession are literally breaking up families here. Of course, there have always been orphans, children in care in Greece, but what's changed? Previously, children in care came from problem families, parents who were drug addicts or alcoholics. But over the past 2 years, that's transformed dramatically. The vast majority now come from families who simply can't afford to look after their children. Parents like Kassiani Papadopoulou, a single mother, unemployed and unable, she says, to care for her 3 children. We caught one of her rare visits.
George.
Pleased to meet you. How are you?
Michaela.
Hello, Michaela. Good to see you. Giving up this family, she told me, was painful, but in Greece's economic climate, still her best option.
Είναι πολύ δύσκολο, πολύ τραγικό.
It's really difficult, really tragic for a true mother to leave her children. But when you understand they are not at fault and deserve a future, it's better to make a move like this than have them beside you without even a plate of food.
Who do you blame?
Now on to sports. Gambia's hope making their first Nations Cup appearance is over. The Scorpions were heavily beaten 4-1 by Algeria in the second leg of their doubleheader. Gambia went 2 goals down in the space of 6 first half minutes, and desperate Sehu Gassama's brilliant solo goal from outside the area, the Gambia side could not recover from the first half double blow. 2 further goals from the Desert Foxes and saw the North Africans qualify to the next stage, beating the Gambia 6-2 on aggregate. And before we round up the news, a reminder of our headlines. 196 Gambian peacekeepers today paraded before the President and Commander-in-Chief ahead of their deployment to Darfur. First Lady Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh has capped off her tour of health facilities with a visit to the Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital. Egypt's Supreme Military Council has claimed full legislative authority following the dissolution of parliament by the High Constitutional Court. And austerity hits Greeks are taking desperate measures as their country teeters dangerously on the brink of bankruptcy. You can follow those stories on the GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for keeping us company. Stay tuned and enjoy our range of interesting programs.